best way to break the rules, do what you feel the most. What is making you the most excited? How do you want to execute it? Don't even think about what rules are there. Think about what you want to release to the world, the way you want to do it. And once it's on the table, then look around and say, am I within the rules? Did I do it like everyone else? Or is this some original shit? If it's that original shit, that you just broke the rules doing what you love.
That's a bar.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a bar, yeah.
So imagine this, right? Imagine 20 years ago, someone comes up to you and says, oh, you're doing all that stuff on stage? Well, I'm working on an app that's gonna be on your phone where you can just like take pictures and you put videos, all your friends will see it and people around the world will see it. And you'll be able to make millions of dollars off of that. And people have done this. They look at that person and say, you're fucking stupid. I don't want to do nothing on my phone. The phone is too small. It's, you know, most of the phones back then had green screens and there were flip phones. Now it's the norm to operate on your phone. Everyone is consuming content on their phone and creating on their phone. They created a new rule.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to season 2 of the Inspire to Inspire podcast. On today's episode, we got a very, very special guest. We got someone that actually grew up watching. He's been relevant in the industry for over multiple decades. I could actually say he's become a master at impressions, acting, and stand-up comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you, Affion Crockett. What's up, family?
What's up, little bro?
What up?
Good to see you,
Glad
man.
you pulled up.
Come on, man.
Yeah, bro.
I had to do it for you.
Nah, for real, for real. I just want to say thank you for coming through because for people who don't know, Affion's been a massive supporter of my family and I for years. You know, him and my dad go way back. And yeah, man, he's come to all my dad's boxing events. You know, he's been around for a cool minute. So being at this place now. Me and your dad have
ciphered a lot in the dance world.
Come on.
We always get down and has always been like brotherhood. But
yeah.
So yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you can get down, man.
Thank you, man.
You can get down. It's, every time I see your videos, I'm like, hold up. I'm so used to the impressions and the acting and comedian. I'm like, yo,
it's really real.
You can dance, bro.
It's really real, yeah.
Dang, man. So like just to kind of just dive into it, fam, like, you know, look, it's really special for me in particular to be able to sit down with you at this point in time in life to have a power talk, like grown conversation. I feel like you've been around the years and it's always been love, but it's been from the, oh, him, my dad. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
I've always wanted to get a chance to sit down and power talk with you. And one of my biggest questions is to kind of start things off is like, what's your why? Like, how did you even start in this industry? What's your beginning and why?
I think for me, growing up a military brat around the world, always in a new environment, very unstable, bullied because I'm the new kid every time I'm going somewhere, kind of like the Karate Kid vibes.
Yeah.
But way more times because the military moves you every 3-4 years. So becoming an introvert, always being in my thoughts, just kind of developing my own shell just to protect myself, right? Entertainment and creativity became my outlet. Even before I knew that it was going to bring me here, I was always watching TV at a time in our country when there were TV commercials that said, don't let your kids watch TV. It's the idiot box. They say that all the time, right? But I always watched it differently. I was looking at the camera angles,
the art.
I was looking at the art. I was looking at the lighting. I was looking at the delivery of the lines. I was looking at how the camera moved, what the people were wearing, how they talked, what they sounded, like everything. I just looked at every single thing and I started to just download it. You know what I'm saying? And again, even before I knew why I was doing that, I just was so fascinated with TV and film. And it became my escape. So it became my escape from I guess we're going to the deep side, right? Depression as a child, before you can even define it. It became my escape from alcoholism in the family. I never drank, but I saw
around the energy.
Crazy like alcoholism and some drug use as well. So my why is this art form, all my art forms, whether it's dance, rapping, acting, music, stand-up, all of it saved me. So it's way more purposeful than just me entertaining the people. I'm entertaining me first. I'm entertaining my inner child first.
The key word that I really love that you said was it was more purposeful.
Yeah.
You know, because like, I don't know, I feel like I had like not a similar experience, but like you just know at some point when you fall in love with something and you just know you like it, but you don't know how to identify it.
Right.
I like that you said that, like, you're like, yo, this is my passion, but I didn't know that it was going to take me like essentially this far.
Right.
You're just doing this because of love out of it. Now, in the process of you know, coming into Affion Crockett as a, like, the entertainer, you know, and as a grown man, as a human being, what was some of the most difficult times that you experienced in terms of being in this industry? Has it been rejection? Has it been, you know, just timing, patience, innovation?
Everything you just said. Rejection, one. When you're dealing with an industry that tells you that you have to prove yourself to people behind a desk, auditioning and all that kind of stuff, it takes you away from your natural instinct to be able to get down, right? We know how to get down.
Yeah.
We have it naturally. So to have somebody just kind of check off a list when you're walking in the room and they're judging your content, they're judging your art, your gift, your innate gift in a very technical, boring way. That's some of the toughest things to do. But for me, and you're a fighter too, so you understand what this means, you always find a way, right? As a boxer, you know that if you're jabbing straight down the middle and it's not getting in, you're gonna find a way. You can get that body shot. If you can't hit the head, you hit the body. You hit wherever you can. You hit the arms, weaken his arms, right? So I am so relentless in the face of all that adversity. All the rejection and all the stuff that this industry brings forced me to be independent. It forced me to be like, man, I ain't gonna wait for these people to tell me I'm good enough for this project or these projects. I know I'm good enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show them. And thank God for all these platforms that started to sprout up over the last 20 years, from YouTube to Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all of the things, Vine, and it gave us a direct-to-consumer avenue to where you don't have to wait on the system, the Hollywood system, you know?
And, you know, I feel like right now in today's age, you know, I feel like that's called like the new Hollywood.
Yeah.
I feel like there's traditional Hollywood and there's new Hollywood. You know, old Hollywood, I feel like it's still relying on people to build you up versus you utilizing the tools in our generation now to build yourself. You know, one thing, I always comment this on your post because it's literally the realest shit, but I swear you don't miss. Like your timing on when things come out, like Drake just dropped the album. Next thing you know, you got the whole Drake parody coming out with him and the fake son. I'm like, you got Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? When you did the parody
Jay is king.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, Affion's timing is so, like, you just don't miss. Like, you just stay relevant, but you choose not to wait for anybody. I feel like you inspire me because I consistently see your work ethic. Like, I watched growing up.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, Affion keeps, like, innovating. As an artist, I ask myself a lot of times, I'm like, okay, how do you want to continue to innovate to stay relevant in this world, but it's being authentic? You know what I'm saying? And I love that, like, again, like, you're authentic to yourself and you're focusing on mastering yourself and versus trying to be like somebody else. And it kind of reminds me of the Sylvester Stallone documentary. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I saw it, of course.
Bro, you know, he wasn't getting cast.
He was telling my story.
Yeah.
That's my story.
That's why I hear that. I'm like, damn, I'm like, I like that you're like, I'm not going to wait for you.
No.
Yeah.
I know what I got. He knew what he had. He knew what his passions were. He knew what his vision was. The only person that can carry that vision out is you. He knew that way back when there was no YouTube and, you know, self-distributing kind of platforms. He became that in the face of adversity, in the face of Hollywood saying, you'll never be a star. And back then, it was even more savage and gangster. When they told you something, you're supposed to just believe it.
And that's it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, same story. They told him he would never be a star because no one could understand his accent and his name was too long and hard to pronounce.
I didn't know that.
And he said, because of those reasons, I'm going to become a star.
That's badass.
You know what I mean?
That's badass.
So I study those people. I study the people who do it against the odds. Bruce Lee is one of my favorite all-time people ever. Not just because I'm a martial artist, but because of his philosophies. He wrote his own movies. When the U.S. was being racist towards him.
The Irish and the Chinese.
Hollywood was like, oh, you can only be an actor behind a mask as Kato, so we can hide your eyes.
I didn't know about that story. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and it was a lot of different things, but he went back to China. He was so discouraged that Hollywood was like, the thing that broke the camel's back for Bruce Lee, he wrote the show Kung Fu for himself. And they ended up casting David Carradine because David Carradine was a white martial artist. And so it was just like, all right, man, how much more can I take? You're going to take my idea and give it to somebody who looks more acceptable to you. I'm going to go back home. And he had no plans on coming back to the U.S., but he went back to China and started producing his own movies. And when his movies blew up over there, Hollywood came back calling. And so the last movie he did in the States was Enter the Dragon. Game of Death 2, but he never finished it, so it came out really bad. But Enter the Dragon is a classic, and it was when Hollywood saw what he did in China, and he became a legend.
Have you seen the show Warrior?
Yes,
Warrior.
of course.
It's the rise of Bruce Lee, but his daughter got it.
His daughter, yeah, and Shannon is a good friend of mine too. So it's like she was telling me about it before I even saw it, right? And this is from Bruce's writings, right? And it's very similar to Kung Fu, but it's another one of his shows that he created way back then that she and Justin Lin took, and I'm so blown away by how great they've made this show.
It's amazing.
In every aspect.
Across the board.
Every aspect.
Literally, the fighting, the acting,
The dialogue, the writing,
how they'll go
visuals.
My favorite thing they do is when they do the thing where it's like they're speaking Chinese and the camera wraps around and goes to English. I'm like, y'all.
It's
on it.
next level.
Yeah.
How they've done that. So so yeah, these are all my whys. Because why not?
Yeah.
You know, when they tell me I can't, it's like this can't doesn't exist in my vocabulary.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna always find a way.
Yeah, I love that. And how did you get your vault of characters? Because you got so many, and like the scary part is like when you transform into these characters, you're like scary believable.
I'm just very observant. So in those times when I was just getting lost in the television and, you know, being bullied, it makes you go into your shell and your cocoon. You do nothing but observe because now you want to know what's coming and who's coming. So you want to see, okay, those are cool kids over there. There goes the bullies over there. So let me just stay away from them. You know what I mean? You start to just observe everyone in the room and you learn. And then when you get past the anxiety of it all, you start to take on their properties and like I can't explain it, but it's just like you take on people's voices and their mannerisms and you study. And then me being a dancer too helped me animate these people.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Got you. Yeah.
So that's kind of it. I'm also a music lover. So since I was age 5, I could listen to music and play it by ear on keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So that helps me tune into the voice of people.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, like when the dancer looks at choreography.
Exactly.
Y'all gotta learn so fast, and like, I can see where that gift comes in.
You got to pick it up.
You gotta pick it up quick.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So when it comes to your family, are you the only one doing entertainment?
Yeah.
Really?
Me and my brother started out dancing.
Okay.
We were always doing talent shows and all that kind of stuff. But when it came time to do this side of it, I'm the only one that was like, yeah, it's me. I'm gonna go after that full speed ahead.
And because I always like to find out people's backstories on like the family and see if they were like the only ones. Like Pops was like the only one, you know, and left at a young age, homeless at 16, and trying to make it work, you know.
Right.
So I was trying to figure out where those inspirations come from. But in your course of years, right, you've been doing from dancing, acting to comedy to you're now growing your socials to high levels. So it's like right now in this current state in life, what's your goal? What's your to for yourself?
My goal is to never have to audition again, for my production company, to just have the flexibility to be greenlit, to do whatever I need to do, right? I've self-financed a lot of things too. I don't mind doing that, but it's just, you know, you do everything yourself. So it's a little more tedious, but to have other partners see my work and say, we want to attach more money to you. Not to where I got to go pitch things or audition for things. I just want to be autonomous, and I could throw out a bunch of names from Issa Rae to Michael B. Jordan to Eddie Murphy to Adam Sandler, Brad Pitt. Like, I just want to be a viable talent that people understand, like a Mark Wahlberg, like that's Affion Crockett, and he creates wonderful TV, film. He creates very, very dynamic projects, and we just want to keep working with him.
You being at a point where you want to have your own productions, have your own projects where they're greenlit, did you ever go through a season of just being like, yo, I've been working for this X amount of years. I put out X amount of projects. They've done X amount of numbers. And I'm still having to prove this to y'all?
It always gets frustrating. I can't lie. It gets frustrating, but I'm a keep on going type of guy.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? A boxing match is 12 rounds. So round 3, you could be gut tired and your stamina's not there. And you've been punched in the stomach and the body so many times that you're just winded by round 3. And you've been trying to knock them out because you've been swinging hard and planting your feet, right? But there's 12 rounds. Are you going to quit on your stool? Or is the warrior, see, as fast as you said that, that's me. Yeah. Every time I feel that frustration and that, you know, I just literally sit back and be like, nah, I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. Yeah. And I got too much in me. Even though I've done a lot of things, I have too much in my system, in my tank to get out.
That's still waiting to be shown.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I don't rest on anything that I did in the past. I don't even remember it.
I love that.
Every day I wake up is a new day, and I'm inspired by what's authentic and what's inspiring to me. That's it. That's how I stay relevant. That's how I stay current. That's how I stay now. And so, yeah, when it gets frustrating, man, I just be like, all right, I'm going to just keep cooking.
Yeah. Do you have, like, routines for yourself to keep yourself, like, sharp, like, focused? You know, like, what's, like, your daily routine that keeps you on that, like, at your edge? You know
I just stay present.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Wow. Okay.
You stay present. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a boat on the ocean, there's not much you can do to tell the water where to take you, right?
That's a great analogy. Wow.
You're in that water. Yeah. You're at the power. The power of that water is all around you. Sure, you may have a motorboat or a yacht or whatever you got that's powering through that water and is dictating. But at some point, if that water wants to take over, it could take over. You know what I mean? So I let life tell me what's happening. I just hear and feel what's going on. And if it's time to relax, I'm going to relax. If it's time to go work out, I'm going to go work out. If it's time to write, I'm going to write. If it's time to go do music, I'm going to go do some music. So it's wherever the inspiration is, I stay in the flow of that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That just taught me something, because I like that analogy you use about understanding that, like, life is essentially that body of water. Like, if it decides supposed to take over, there's nothing you can do. You just got to be present, just handle that moment. And to me, that's something I've been working on this year a lot. It's like, focus on being present more. Meditation's been helping me out a lot. Meditate like at least 10 minutes a day, just to focus on being present more and to slow down my mind. I would wake up in the morning sometimes feeling like just it's the feelings, and I have to remind myself, like, yo, feelings keep you in bed. You know, the feelings keep you in bed, but it's the mindset that keeps you strong. So, like, I started doing, like, just little habit things like reading, you know, working out, whatever. But I try to create a schedule for myself, because I'm like, yo, it keeps me focused and sharp. I feel like if I don't do this, I fall off.
Right.
Have you ever been at a point in your life where you fell off track and you have to pick it back up and then go from there? You know what I'm saying? Or you feel like you've been pretty consistent like this?
I'm very consistent.
Okay.
There may be times when things get slow.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm just wired to always find something to do. I'm just always on it.
Yeah.
Even when I'm chilling, like, there's something I'm thinking about that I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get to that later. I'm present right now, but I'm gonna get to that later. I'll put that on my to-do list. But like you said, you've seen me do so much over the years, constantly. Is because I'm just a machine. I'm always putting things out, but learning how to balance that without stressing and staying peaceful and focused, but still being able to just, you know, put out, just get it out there.
Oh, what's up, y'all? We just had the whole entire Who Has the Team.
It's a whole reunion. I just saw her at Guapale's show. That I tell you, where I saw the who.
That's what's up.
Has it? Yeah,
literally. What's up? How you doing?
Cali up.
But yeah, so I kind of switching gears a little bit, right? Do you have kids at all? You don't have
no.
None, right? Do you plan on having a family?
I still do. Even, you know, what some people would call later in life. and they say parenting is a young man's sport, but I feel like for me, having kids now, I'm way in so much more of a better position to be a great parent versus a traumatic parent.
Wow.
That's still learning who I am in my 20s and 30s.
Trying to figure out how to implement that to them.
And I'm giving them, they're inheriting my dysfunctions, my traumas, my soul. Like I would rather give them a healed parent with wisdom than, you know, a parent that's still trying to figure out life.
Yeah.
You know, but I love kids.
Yeah. No, because I always wondered. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Affion with kids at all.
Yeah,
like,
but even if I had kids, I wouldn't post them a lot. Like I don't believe in posting.
I love that. I love.
I'm very private with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta protect that energy. You know what I'm saying?
And then you gotta protect the safety of your kids, because you don't know who's watching your page and what kind of, you know, there's some sick people out here. So I'm just very cautious about protecting my family.
Well, going to protection, that's actually the area I want to go into. You know, in LA, there's a lot of, you know, energy all over the place.
For sure.
Just in general, you know. So in terms of over the years, you know, like, how have you protected your energy? Has it been through just having a close circle of friends? Has it just been because of family, or like, because in LA, it's very, very, very easy to get caught up if you're, whatever reason. It could be if you're making money, or you're finally getting the clout, or you're finally getting the girls, or whatever. But like, bro, you've been in the ship 20 years plus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, again, it's like, how do you
I've been in the game almost 30 years, since 94. So
East.
I never believed that, though.
Oh, really?
That it's easy to get caught up. I don't believe that.
Okay.
It's not easy to get caught up if you know who you are and what you stand for.
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying? So I know none of that stuff services me. I could be in a room full of cocaine and have no kind of feeling about it. Like,
yeah.
All right, if y'all want to do that, cool. That's on you.
Yeah.
I'm just not moved by the stuff that these people are moved by. I'm not moved by anything that's plastic or temporary or fake, or, you know, I'm gonna kiss this famous person's ass because I'm an opportunist and I want to get close to them. I don't do that. If it's not a real relationship, of course it'd be exciting to work for somebody who's like a big name, right? Yeah. Or to work with them. But if it's not an organic relationship, or if they're a shitty person, and you know what I'm saying, it's not worthy. So I don't get caught up on anything, because I just know who I am. I know what works for me, and I know what doesn't work for me. I just stay in my lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like, you know, over the years, for me, you know, pops was very hard on me growing up. So I'm saying thing, cocaine, don't mess. I don't fuck with it. Any of that stuff. I'm just like, it doesn't entice me.
Right.
But what kind of confused me a little bit earlier on was like, you know, when you start making noise on certain things, I feel like a lot of people around you start telling you how you should move.
Oh, for sure.
How you should move, what you should do, you know, how you should be, you know. And to me, that's what that to me was like almost the caught up part. I just feel like a lot of people my age right now in this industry, the new version of getting caught up is just trying to keep up.
Oh yeah.
You're like this. You're seeing you can get something and see somebody else get something else. You're trying to keep up, and then you're getting caught up with trying to keep up.
Yeah, that's actually just a human instinct.
Okay.
That's not even generational. That's
okay.
It's different forms of it, right? Instagram, social media. That's a new way. But back in the day, it was called keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
So if you see your neighbor pull up with a Benz in their driveway, now you want a Benz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, right? Yeah. So you're not unique, or there's nothing wrong with you, right? In getting caught up that way, because we all do it. Yeah. We all compare, but they say comparison is the thief of joy. So if you can't embrace what you have right now today, it doesn't matter what you have. You're gonna always want something else. Yeah. You're gonna always want something more. So you got to learn to be really content.
I was gonna say content, not comfortable.
Content,
not comfortable.
Godliness with contentment is great game. So, yeah, just I get it though.
Yeah, no, and I like the way you worded that. I like the way you worded that a lot. That's just it's a new variations through the generations.
Oh yeah, but it's the same game.
It is, and to me, I guess it takes a strong individual. So that's more so around the conversation on this aspect. I want to kind of talk to you about. It's like, again, how you not get caught up. But you're like, bro, I know myself. Yeah. I don't get caught up because I know myself, and that's I feel like half the battle that people don't have.
Yeah, they don't know who they are.
They don't know themselves.
And I also don't identify with the term celebrity. I don't see myself as that. I see myself as an artist, and there's a lot of people that know my work, and those people love my work. There's a lot of people that don't know me. So how can I be a celebrity if everybody doesn't know me, right?
Yeah.
So it's not about that for me. It's about, let me service the people that know me. Let me gain some new fans along the way, or friends or fam or whatever you want to call it, right? New supporters, and just keep servicing the art. I just service the art. I'm here to service the art. Because if the art is not serviced, then you're not, what are you doing? What are you producing? You're producing
shit.
Plastic.
Yeah. Literally.
So yeah, I don't see myself as a celebrity, so I don't get caught up in the I gotta be more known thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like that's the carrot on the stick.
It is.
You know?
So it's something to be said about somebody who's been around for almost 30 years, but I'm still discoverable. There's still people that are like, who is that guy? And I'm doing stuff that's still relevant to today. You know, I'm not creating like somebody who was in the 90s and it feels old and dated and you know what I'm saying? It's hacky. I'm not creating like that. I'm creating something that's very organic.
Yeah, for
and
real.
it makes young people say, oh shit. It makes older people like, oh shit. Like this dude he's just funny.
Yeah.
He's just crazy and
Yeah,
he's
bro.
goofy. So
You're so fully invested into the craft. It's insane.
yeah.
You know, like, did you take classes though in the process, or were you just around as people just getting?
This is all. I'm a child of hip hop, so hip hop is a self-made art form.
Okay.
It's you know, we don't need. That's the whole point of it. We didn't need the system to tell us that we had skills, that we were a relevant art form. Hip hop was supposed to be a fad, and it was supposed to be done within a year. So if hip hop started in '73, then in '74 hip hop is supposed to be obliterated, right? It's the biggest selling art form still to this day. So, and it's the most influential around the world. Hands down.
Bro, my brother lives in Japan, right? And when I go to Japan and see him, they don't speak English, but you go to a club, they know every lyric.
They got dreadlocks,
J. Cole, Big Sean, Kendrick, they know all the words.
B-boys, poppers, lockers, like it's crazy.
Yeah,
so
bro.
that's the mentality that I have when it comes to creating. I didn't take classes. I taught myself pretty much everything, or I learned from observing.
Yeah.
I learned from masters.
Yeah.
If I want to learn how to act, I'm going to watch Denzel. I'm going to watch Jeffrey Wright. I'm going to watch Philip Seymour Hoffman. Viola Davis, Meryl Streep. I'm going to watch people that have that masterful craftsmanship. If I want to write, I'm going to read scripts by writers who I know and I respect their wordplay. You know what I mean? Same way I did when I started rapping. I was like, oh, wait, I want to rap really well. Who raps really well? Oh, Nas, Rakim, Eminem. Let me listen to these guys that really know how to flip words. And I'll listen to Snoop because he just knows cadence and pocket.
Cadence is insane.
Crazy. Tone, crazy. So yeah, I study the greats. I don't really take classes. Nothing against class.
No, I feel I'm the same way. I resonate with you on that.
I just feel like class, for me, puts me in a structured box.
Yeah.
I create more freely. My creativity's a bounce.
Dude, that was such a big affirmation, bro, because I had this thing, but some of my friends were talking about this. I was telling them why I'm not a fan of classes no more. Like, why? I was like, first of all, get to a level in life where you just don't want to sit down for 3 hours and not working anywhere. I don't want to go anywhere, work 15 minutes and sit down for 2.5 hours. I got more
And watch,
to do.
yeah. Everybody else.
2, I'd rather work with a private coach, one-on-one with somebody.
Right.
Or 3, just do the work at home. And like I didn't know that. I thought I don't know where your training came from, so I didn't know that you're just like, nah, I'm watching, and then I'm assuming when you're watching, you go home and you're practicing in the mirror.
No.
Really?
No.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's crazy to me, though.
Acting is reenacting life.
Yeah.
So there's scenarios in life that really happen that scripts are gonna call you have to call on. So if there's a scene where it says, me and you are having an argument, and then somewhere in the argument we actually apologize to each other because we're brothers and we don't want to continue this family rift. We've all been through that before.
For sure.
So if you and I didn't have to go and practice in the mirror to have this conversation on this podcast, why would I go and rehearse for a scene that we're about to do? Unless I want to rehearse the words.
That's what I'm saying.
And make sure we have the lines down for sure.
Yeah.
That's respect to the writer and that's respect to the project. So the words matter, but the emotion and the intensity, We don't need to rehearse that. We've already been there. So for what?
What's crazy is, I guess more so my question was like your impressions. Like if you're doing Jay-Z or Chris Rock, like you didn't just practice that. You just like.
No, I literally, once I have the voice, you can throw me in any scene as these people and I'm just going to act like them.
That's actually shocking to me. I thought you for sure, again, I know you had the gift of being able to like watch, observe, and take, but now I'm thinking you're going home, but you just got that innate inability just to be like, oh, I got it, boom.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow, that's a gift.
But Dom, it comes from hip hop. I'm telling you.
That makes sense though.
It comes from hip hop. Yeah. I learned everything I've learned through freestyle, observation and freestyle, right? Yeah. Case in point, when I started dancing when I was 10. Mm-hmm. So I'm watching the older guys, top rock battle, right? They're up rocking, they're doing all the things, right? Battling, The best way to learn it is to just jump out and do it, right? Yeah. No one taught me how to do the things. I just got busy with regurgitating what I was seeing them do. But I learned it in the circle when everyone's watching. So that natural instinct to just know what the music is telling you to do, what beat to be on, and the moves just come. So that's how my acting is. It's just what it is. So once I'm on the spot, I don't know. I just go with whatever the mood tells me I need to have.
What's powerful about that too is the fearless aspect of not focusing on failure. Not focusing on failure at all. And that's the thing I notice on here.
But there's no such thing as failure. Yeah, unless you come on. That's it right there. Unless you quit.
Got that clip. What's up? Unless you quit.
There it is.
What I'm saying? I learned that through boxing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
There's 12 rounds, bro.
That's it. Yeah.
So this is how people view failure. Okay. Round 1, we're feeling each other out, seeing where you are, testing my jab, I'm measuring. The first time you land a punch anywhere on me, that's how society views failure. The first punch is like, oh shit, I failed. It didn't work. What the fuck do you mean it didn't work? It's just a hit.
Keep going.
It's 12 rounds. You're going to get hit. So if your business that you started tanks in the first year, you're in the red, $300,000, some people would look at that as failure and they would quit. You adjust. You're like, why did we lose 300,000? Why are we in the hole for 300? What didn't we do right on the marketing? Who didn't we reach from an audience perspective, from consumer perspective? So I just don't believe that there's failure. There's just opportunities to adjust and get great. That's it.
I also see that you say accountability.
1,000%. Not being afraid to look in the mirror at yourself. I'm so brave. I'm so willing to be wrong and out of line so that I can put myself in line. No one does anything perfectly. No one does everything right. Yeah. So it's like to be able to be real with yourself and be like, damn, I missed a step right there. All right, but next time, if I just do this, then I'll adjust and I'll get it right.
Yeah. And I feel like that's very similar to like emotional intelligence. Yeah. Or this is why I got caught. For example, if I know if I'm sparring and I get caught, I'm like, oh, okay, put your hand up. Simple.
Yeah.
Simple. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't book a job for an audition, I'm like, all right, how can you be better next time?
Right.
You know,
or like, it just wasn't for me. I was amazing in that audition.
Exactly.
They wanted somebody else.
Exactly.
Or they hired their friend. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah. And just letting go. And I love how you articulate that. I guess, you know, what's some of the advice that you would give to an upcoming artist right now in terms of like just trying to accomplish the dream, accomplish the goals? Like, what's the best advice and what's the worst advice you've heard?
I always say service the art. Service the art by learning it, by researching it. Go back to the past, go back and study the greats that have done it before you, and learn the rules and then figure out ways to make it your own. You got to learn the rules before you can break them.
Yep.
And then now there's no excuses. I'm talking about you can shoot a movie on your phone.
In 4K.
Edit it in 4K, lighting, color correction, audio. You can shoot a movie on your phone. There's no excuses. Information is at your fingertips every day, 1,000 times a day. You can research anything. YouTube tells you how to do everything. There's no excuses. So figure out what it is you want to do, service it, and just work your ass off. There's no real formula to that shit.
Do facts.
You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
just go do the work.
Facts.
Figure out what you want to do and then just go do it.
Yeah, yeah. And I always have conversations with some of my like younger peers, you know, and I like to remind them a lot of stop thinking that you need more.
Mm-hmm.
Stop thinking you need more, bro. Stop thinking like you need a budget. Stop thinking that you need an entire team behind you to push your stuff out. Stop thinking that you need that.
Right.
You just gotta stop. You gotta stop doing that. And the reason why I tell them these conversations is 'cause I'm like, a lot of times those people and those teams come from you.
Exactly.
Because it's not the perfect environment that you want to be in, but you got to create that perfect environment, you know? And that's why I love hearing your stories and feeling your energy on how you move as a person. You're like, look, I hold myself accountable. There's no excuses. And I'm in love with the craft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's just such a beautiful, simple recipe that explains your longevity. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You know, you said that was the best advice, right?
Yeah.
What's the worst advice you've ever heard?
Worst advice is any category of advice of someone telling you that you can't do it, or that you can't do something, or that your idea is, no one's gonna be into that. No one's gonna. Every time somebody told me that, I just went and did the shit. And then when I showed it, they was like, oh shit, that's crazy. I'm dealing with that right now. Like there's people that, the last 4 projects that I went and independently created, I was advised, you shouldn't do that because of XYZ reason. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm just like,
nah.
Y'all just don't, you clearly don't know me.
Yeah.
And my track record. You said it earlier, I don't miss. There's a reason why I don't miss. Because I don't just throw anything out there. It's, even though I freestyle a lot of shit, when I produce something, it's very calculated. It's very centered and focused. It's like a punch or a kick. Yeah. I don't miss on purpose.
Your accuracy on this shit.
I know what I'm targeting. I know who I'm targeting, and I know what I want to get out of this particular thing. Because I'm talking about over 20 years. I'll look at my old YouTube stuff, and I'll just look at shit and be like, man, I was really onto something back then, and it's still playing out right now. Like I've had so many viral moments. I know. How a lot of people are like, they have one big viral moment.
No, you got.
I've had them over 20 years. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's a lot of those, and that's not accidental.
It's not an accident, bro.
It's not.
You took the words right out of my mouth, bro.
Yeah, it's not accidental.
You know?
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's kind of like that Floyd Mayweather mentality, where it's like, he just don't miss. Most accurate puncher.
I'm really a pugilist.
Yeah.
Like he's the purest boxer that we've seen in a very, very long time. And you can't, whether you like his personality or not, you cannot take away from the facts. He's the purest boxer we've seen. That's just what it is. Manny Pacquiao is the most energetic. He said he spars 34 rounds in practice.
Him and Freddie go crazy.
Just so when he gets to the 12, it feels like, I'm just getting started.
Literally.
So it's all by design. I don't miss on purpose.
Yeah. You did martial arts growing up, so you got that discipline, so you understand like that concept. Because we talk about boxing and fighting a lot. I'm like, it just makes sense. A lot of people I know that did some form of sports, whether it be football, basketball, or fighting. There's this discipline aspect of, again, holding yourself accountable. You know, you being in this industry and you talking about how you're very intentional with what you want to do and what you want to create. You know,
I talk about fighting a lot with you.
Yeah.
Because I've seen you.
Okay.
Remember when we first met was in the gym.
Yeah.
And this when you walked up to me, you was like, man, I'm Marvin Columbus's son. I was like, oh snap, that's Pops. That's my dude. And so I would see you shadow box and train in the corner. And you're exceptionally nice at boxing.
Much love, thank you.
To the point where I thought you were a professional fighter.
Much less.
I didn't know you were an actor.
Yeah, most people.
Yeah, but I'm just watching you. I'm watching your movements, and even while I'm watching you, I'm like, okay, let me see where I need to sharpen up on.
Shit.
Because I'm not a boxer, but I, I'm a Wing Chun guy, so it's still hands and it's still movement, it's still all of the things, but your technique is so fire. Your power's there, your speed is there, your accuracy is there. So now that we're sitting here talking as actors and peers and brothers, I'm like, oh, I could talk fight talk to him all day because I know it's gonna translate to what we're saying.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
So yeah.
And even going to talking about the concept of fighting, one thing that I admire, we're talking about Floyd Mayweather as an example, right? Is someone who wasn't afraid to understand the game and then break the rules.
The best way to break the rules is do what you feel the most. What is making you the most excited? How do you want to execute it? Don't even think about what rules are there. Think about what you want to release to the world, the way you want to do it. And once it's on the table, then look around and say, am I within the rules? Did I do it like everyone else? Or is this some original shit? If it's that original shit, that you just broke the rules doing what you love.
That's a bar.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a bar, yeah.
I hope that made sense.
No, I made more than perfect
just
sense.
do it.
Really.
Just do it how you feel it.
Yeah.
Kanye West, right? It's all the headlines about him right now and all the crazy antics, and he's made his own bed with some of that.
For sure.
But as an artist, he did it the way he felt it from the beginning.
Jump. Yeah.
Jesus Walks.
Yeah.
In a secular hip hop environment, culture, he dared to say, I'm gonna do a song called Jesus Walks. And within the song, I'm gonna tell these people why they'll be stupid for not playing it on radio. He was that bold and that just radical with, I believe, you can't tell me no.
Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing.
Straight up.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you feel it, Dom, do it the way you feel it. Fuck the rules.
Yeah.
Do it the way Dom feels it, and Dom's way becomes a new rule.
Dude, that's so real. I'm so glad you shared that with me, for real.
It's just
it's
simple as that.
Yeah. I've heard the statement years ago, but it's like there's always somebody interested in what you're interested in.
Always.
So when you tell me, when you're like, dude, just stick to that.
So imagine this, right? Imagine 20 years ago, someone comes up to you and says, oh, you're doing all that stuff on stage? Well, I'm working on an app that's gonna be on your phone where you just like take pictures and you put videos and all your friends will see it and people around the world will see it, and you'll be able to make millions of dollars off of that, and you can create your art on your phone. You would look at that person, and people have done this. They would look at that person and say, you're fucking stupid.
You're insane.
I don't want to do nothing on my phone. The phone is too small. The screen is too small. It's, most of the phones back then had green screens and they were flip phones. Now it's the norm. They had the vision. Now it's the norm to operate on your phone. Everyone is consuming content on their phone and creating on their phone. They created a new rule.
I hear you. And it reminds me of the Wright brothers. That's why I'm a big fan of the Wright brothers. We're going to make airplanes. You're going to what?
Right.
They just did it. And now look how we travel the world.
Well, it's rumored that they didn't really do it.
I didn't know about that.
But
from the story
the story that you heard, I get it.
Yeah.
Someone who's a rule breaker and create something that it sounds crazy at first.
And then you see it.
And look, it's a zillion dollar industry now.
Nah, for real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So create Dom's rule.
I love that you share that, because I feel like every creator that hears this is gonna really resonate with that, because I feel like there's so many things going on social media all the time where it's like trend. So people are always trying to follow something versus being the innovator or being the creative. And that's why I've always been literally such a big fan of your content. 'Cause I'm like, dude, Affion just keeps creating shit and he's setting trends. Like he's creating it. And I feel like that's the difference in someone who's like really an artist. I'm just gonna keep doing things that I like to do. And if you're into it, great. And if you're not, great. I'm still gonna do it.
I'm still gonna do it because, like you said, there's always somebody interested in what you're
doing.
In. Yeah,
man, that was such a bar.
Yeah.
Well, hey, honestly, I'm just glad you came on today.
Come on, man. We've been trying to get this together for a minute, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad we finally got to sit down.
Nah, for real, such a powerful conversation. All the episodes I've done, I've never had anybody sit down and break down accountability the way you did, or like just so matter of fact on like, no, this is how I move, right? This is why I'm a student in the craft. I serve, and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? As I wanted to talk with you specifically, because I'm like, okay, Affion has figured out things in this industry. He's figured out things in his life.
Yeah.
And I want to continue to be a student forever. So however I can learn and however I can implement this energy.
Let me give you this.
You know?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you
but
good.
Let me give you this to end with, right? Financially, right? If you have $1 million in your bank account, but your monthly overhead is $2,500. No, let's say $5,000, right? Your monthly overhead is $5,000. You have $1 million liquid in the bank. You're more wealthy than someone who has 50 million and their overhead is like $70,000 a month and they're overspending. They got all these fancy cars and yachts and all this type of stuff. You're actually more wealthy based on the ratio of your liquid amount versus your spending. If you keep your spending low, live within your means, sometimes beneath your means, you can still splurge on stuff. But if you got that million and you're comfortable and life is good, you can still get more. But don't compare your million and look down upon that million because you don't have 50 yet.
Yeah. No, and that's why I feel like I figured out this year, actually. This year, I've never been so like in peace with like just creating, not worrying about the results of things, not worrying about how it's gonna happen or when it's gonna happen or when, like just like you said, just being present.
Yeah.
And being a student in the game, and every day I'm purely focusing on just how can I get better at what I do and how can I do what I do best,
Right.
and put that out and not stress or not think about comparison or think about, you know, whatever, because it's very easy. Like when I did Roadhouse and then a year goes by and it's a year. It's a year that's gone by. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of time. So it's like, what about all that in between time? And during the in between time, there's times where I've seen my other castmates, they got other shows or movies coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so happy for them.
Right.
I'm like, you know why? I don't know what you went through before.
Yeah.
I don't know what you experienced. I don't know what it took to get to that point, and that's your time. So I know that when it's my time, it's going to be my time.
Yeah.
And that's just more so why I wanted to implement into this ending clip or this message on top of yours was like, it's on the right timing. You know what I'm saying? Consistent accountability. And I love that you said, I could have that million, be spending 5,000. I'm more wealthy than the person, the 7,000. But it's the mindset of like being thankful for what you have versus like, I got to get more. You're in that chasing the carrot stick again.
Yeah.
You know?
If you manage what you have, I think the Bible says, be a great steward of little so that you can have more. And I'm paraphrasing, but take care of what you have right now, but manage the hell out of that.
Yeah.
It's going to go way further than the person that has everything and can't manage anything. They're hemorrhaging, they're losing money. Like it's,
and eventually it's gonna, I feel like
100%.
case by case.
A lot of millionaires that we see aren't liquid millionaires. They're millionaires on paper, and they're millionaires from debt or with debt.
But not just going straight to their account and being like million.
No,
Nah.
They've been taught to spend someone else's money, and so they got all these partners and these people that have given them money, but they owe that money back.
Yeah.
Plus interest, plus other whatever else is in the contract, right? So don't believe everything you see. Don't compare your life to that, because you don't know what that really is behind closed doors.
Yeah.
That could be the Wizard of Oz.
High key.
The mansion in Beverly Hills with the Bugatti in front. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
and
the fog.
And you got a comfortable crib in Toluca Lake, but it ain't the mansion in Beverly Hills. So you're comparing. You're like, man, I need more.
Yeah.
You don't know what's behind that door.
That's the
I guarantee you that person doesn't even own that mansion 9 times out of 10. The person that you're comparing yourself to, 9 times out of 10 does not own that. And I'm telling you from stories I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Where the owners come to me and was like, yo, you know, so-and-so was flossing and it was all on social media with the crib. That's my crib.
Oh shit.
They didn't pay the mortgage, so I had to evict them.
Mm.
But they was flossing like it was their crib the whole time.
Yeah, wrong flex.
So be happy with what you had, bro.
Man, that's a bro. I appreciate your family.
Of course,
Thank you so much. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, that was another episode of the Aspire to Inspire podcast. Make sure to follow Affion Crockett on all social media platforms. And is there anything you got coming out you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, the hip hop movie. I didn't even say, man, we got a movie called we're still playing with the title. It may be called The Hip Hop Story.
Okay.
It's basically a tribute to hip hop. It's the hip hop version of Coming to America. Me and all my friends are playing icons throughout hip hop history, from Kool Herc to Kool Mo D, Russell Simmons, Run DMC, all the way up to Joe Budden and Ludacris, and all these guys, all these people. But yeah, that's coming out. February is our release date through AMC theaters, and yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Well, hey man, I'm sorry to say, you already know Affion gonna kill all those characters, man. Other than that though, hey guys, that's the latest episode of Aspire to Inspire. Keep up with Affion, and that's another one for y'all. Peace.